If you're someone who's selling on eBay in 2025 or you want to get into it, this is the most important video that you could watch. Because right now is one of the hardest times to sell things on eBay, whether it's tariffs, growing fees, whatever it is, things that are actually out of your control. It is hard to sell on eBay right now, but it is not impossible and there's still a lot of money to be made. So let's go into the number one thing that a lot of people need to do, which they don't, and actually costs them a lot of time and a lot of money. Your first step is to understand supply and demand. eBay is just the same as any other business when you break it down. You are going to be listing something and there's going to be a supply for it. All right, so that's all the other eBay sellers in the world that have that same exact item listed. Let's say, for example, this roll of tape, right? Let's say there is 100 of them listed, this one roll of tape, doesn't matter what it is. But every 90 days, they're only selling 10 rolls of this one tape. So that means it's going to take, let's say, roughly 900 days for you to sell this one roll of tape, as well as the fact that it's not going to sell for a lot of money, right? That is what is important here. You need to be picking up items that are in demand, also items that people are going to be willing to pay to have shipped to them. You do not want to be selling items that are $20 shipped or things that you're just going to be scraping pennies off of. And this especially goes for me as a Canadian seller. Right now, I'm dealing with a Canada Post strike, as well as not being able to send any items to the USA without having to deal with extreme tariffs. But it doesn't matter where you're located. I don't care if you're in the USA or if you're in Europe, Australia, whatever. The number one most important thing you need to know is supply and demand. And as times have gotten tougher and tougher, I'm looking for those higher cost items as much as possible. Things that are selling for at least $50 or more is what I'd suggest you look out for. What you're going to notice is as you're picking up the more and more expensive items, you're going to be notice more sales, more cash flow, more money to be reinvested back into your business for more better inventory. And the thing that I see the most that really stops people from doing this is that sometimes you're actually going to have to pay up for the inventory. Personally, I would rather buy something for $25 and sell it for $100 than $20 or 20 items that are $5 each that all sell for $15, right? That is what I would prefer, because you're going to sell that one item and it's also going to take up a lot less space and take a lot less time to list, okay? Just showing you guys an example, this Canon PowerShot camera sold within an hour and a half of being listed for full asking price. I bought it at a thrift store 45 minutes from my house for $7. Sold for $90 within the same day of listing it. Those are the type of items that I'm after every single day, okay? Things that are going to make you quick profit that you can turn into more profit. You know what I mean? That's what we need to be looking for. We do not want things sitting on our shelves for years and years and years and just relisting them, thinking that something's going to change because they're eventually going to sell because it's eBay. Okay? You want to be feeding the eBay algorithm the items it wants to see and the items that buyers want to see. eBay is for buyers, it is not for sellers, okay? That's how it goes. That's how the search works. You want clean pictures. You want things in the description. If there's a flaw with it, you want to state it. You don't want returns, okay? It is much more simpler than a lot of people like to make it. List good items, list items that have a good sell-through rate, take good pictures, and have a pretty decent shipping rate, okay? That is how you're going to sell items. All right, and now I want to talk about sourcing, everyone's favorite thing to do. That's where we go and buy our items before we list them on eBay. I don't care how you get them, whether it's through thrift stores, garage sales, flea markets, online, whatever you do, right? Private, or storage units, whatever. What I'm going to push you to do is to break out of your routine. If you're someone who only does garage sales, go to thrift stores, a couple times a week. If you're someone who only goes to thrift stores, break out of your route. Personally, what I like to do is, once or, every 2 weeks is to go up to the town that's an hour and a half away from me. I'll leave my home at 7:30 in the morning and I'll thrift my entire way there in that town and then thrift my entire way back. Make a whole day of it. It is fun. I personally find that very enjoyable. I know a lot of people probably wouldn't, but I love doing that and I love going through different thrift stores. I'm personally not as big of a garage sale guy, but I do still go out and do it because I know it's a very good way to find inventory on the weekends, which personally around me, since I have a very large lack of flea markets, is pretty much one of the best ways to get consistent, very cheap inventory. Basically, what I'm trying to say is to give yourself options when it comes to your inventory, because sometimes, I'll go a week with finding some absolute garbage at my local thrift stores, and I'll go up and I'll absolutely score at, some of these other towns, these smaller towns especially, where there's not as many resellers. Those are great places to go. And honestly, you guys, that's everything that I have to tell you because that is all that matters as an eBay seller. Understanding supply and demand, which I taught you guys, and then also having various options and variety to your sourcing methods. The more items that you can get from more different areas that are of the highest quality possible, or just an actual good sale, not something that you're breaking even on or making $2 or $3 on, is super important. And once you understand that, and once you get that down, the sales will come in. The smaller things like how to take better pictures, how to have better lighting, how to have a SKU inventory system, or how to resize a box, all of that does not matter, okay? All that matters is getting consistent good sales, and if you're listing good items on eBay, you are going to get success. That's how it goes. And getting those items for cheap is hard, and I understand it, but that is the part of mastering eBay that a lot of people will fail at. Don't just grab items that are free. Grab items that cost you money that are going to be high quality sellers. That's what you need to do. Take care in shipping your items, ship them quickly, and you're good. So if this helped you out, if you learned anything, I'd appreciate a like and follow. Peace.